Welcome back. This is the 52 Weeks to Wealth Principle 6. Wealth Principle 6. We've been traveling through the 52 Weeks to Wealth for the last, well, more than 6 weeks, but for 2021, it's been 6 weeks. And Wealth Principle 5 was build a business. Hands to the camera if you were here last week for Wealth Principle 5. Excellent, excellent. Wealth Principle 6 is your business must solve a problem. Write this down because a lot of people start businesses for the wrong reasons. For the wrong reasons. I talked last week about the problem your business must solve. You start a business to solve your problem, right? Missing money. Hands to camera, that's the reason you started a business. Yes. Many people do. Most entrepreneurs start the business because they're good at something and they want to make money. Most entrepreneurs start a business to make money. Hands to the camera if that was you. Start a business to make money. Excellent. That's the whole point in a business. That is what the business is for. If you are wearing a Names on Deeds shirt, let's see, throw it up. Awesome. Paula, I see it. Very good. Catherine, I see it. Awesome. Mike, Kim, excellent, excellent. Herlina. Let's give these ladies and gentlemen a round of applause. We got 100 millionaires. We got Names on Deeds. Glenn Hazard, I see it, brother. These shirts represent the problem we solve in real estate. The person who owns the real estate no longer wants their name on the deed. They want somebody else's. They don't care whose it is as long as it's not their name. They don't want to receive the taxes anymore. They don't want the water bill anymore. They don't want the headache of the insurance anymore. Or sometimes they don't have insurance and that messed them up. And so now they don't want to do the renovations anymore. Or in my situation with multifamilies, hands to the camera, where my landlord's at? Show me the landlords. Hands to the camera. Right way up there. Yes, flash it. There it is. They don't want your tenants anymore. Now, every tenant out there could be your tenant, could be your future tenant. All you have to do is have that conversation with the person who no longer wants their name on the deed. They're not your tenant unless your name's on the deed. Property managers, hear me out. They're not really your tenants. They're the landlord's tenants. You're just babysitting. Hands to the camera if you know property managers don't manage property, they manage people. Yes, they're babysitters. As landlords, we love babysitters because tenants without a babysitter can become a little bit frustrating. And that's why many landlords who have owned for a little while will sell because the tenant has become frustrating. Hands to the camera if you recognize that. Landlords, have you ever been frustrated? Me too. And I'm good at this, right? I'm good at staying separate from the properties. I'm good at having a property manager in there. And I'm great at making sure that I pay attention to everything that's going on in my buildings. But sometimes frustration can slip in. That little bit is like, oh man, maybe I should just sell it all. I want you to fight it. I want you to fight the urge. And I want to go back. So solving a problem in business, before we go on this little journey and this experience, solving a problem in business is the only way you get paid. So you started the business to get paid, right? Hence the camera, if you started a business to get paid. One more time. Yes, just about everybody. Awesome. But you don't get paid unless you solve a problem. Your business must solve a problem. And you will be paid in direct proportion to how big the problem is and how easy it is to solve. Meaning supply and demand, function of supply and demand, and how fast or easy it is to solve, how difficult it is. I was having the conversation yesterday with my brother, and my brother was telling me that if something is difficult, then it should charge a lot. And if something is easy, it shouldn't be that expensive. But he forgot something. Difficult and easy are relative terms. They're relative to you and they're relative to your buyer. So my brother has the problem of underpricing one of his products. Hands to camera if you know who Josh is. Josh Amarello owns Amp Academy in Fall River. Yes. He currently charges, I'm not going to tell you the price he charges. In fact, I want to do a poll live today. So his product is a backflip. In one day, in 1 hour, he can teach you how to backflip. Hands to the camera if you do not know how to backflip, have never backflipped intentionally. I know we've all had that experience where accidentally that happened. So if you were to be able to backflip on stage at an event, or backflip at a party, or backflip for your kids, or it was an important experience and there was a lot of people looking and you were in a dance off and you could just throw the backflip like it was easy, no big deal, no fear of pain or concern. It was just something you've been doing for years. Do you think it would improve your life being the person who does the backflip? Have you seen that person get a little more attention than normal? Attention is good. Yes. Hands to the camera if you know it's good. All right. So his backflip product. What do you think you should charge to learn how to backflip in an hour? To learn how to backflip for life. What do you think you charge for something like that? Drop it in the chat. Just drop it in the chat there. First question, is it safe? Excellent. I like this. Now, what if I said, and what is it safe is whatever my insurance costs plus extra. So is it safe? There's some concerns. What if instead of 1 hour, I switched it and I said, over the next 6 weeks, I will teach you how to backflip safely, effectively, and you will be able to do it consistently even without me around. What does the price become now? And type that in the chat. Excellent, excellent, interesting, very interesting. Same product, yes? Hands to the camera if we agree it's the same product. He's providing the same level of service he would have done over 1 day, 1 hour, but he's doing it over 6 weeks. Perceived value, yes? Hands to the camera if the perception of value is higher. Now, here's the problem. My brother can teach it in an hour. It is possible to teach and learn in an hour. An hour is actually a long time. But the mind perceives an hour as too short. I'm not getting a lot of value in that. It's going to be rushed. It's going to be like, this is such a big deal for me to do it in a small time, like an hour is probably, I'm going to get hurt. Hands to the camera if that was one of your thoughts. And for anybody who's listening at home and doesn't have the chat open, and Darina, can we make sure that the group on Facebook Live is shared out to everywhere, including my business page? You are amazing. Let's give Darina again a round of applause. And if you are at home at your computer, if you can go to Alchemist Nation, the Facebook group, take this video and share it across everywhere, all things. Just don't get yourself blocked on Facebook. You can share about 50 different groups. Share it out there for wealth builders, for business owners, and for real estate gurus, real estate investors. All of those groups are people that could eventually be in our community. Hands to the camera if you want good people in our community. Yes. Then only share in places where good people hang out. If it's one of those places where not good people hang out, well, don't share there. Hands to the camera if we agree. Only share these live videos in the right places. You'll find there are a lot of right places. Going forward, so in the beginning, everybody said about $100, $50. We saw that as it was coming through the chat. And then once I extended it to 6 days, 6 weeks, I didn't say days, I said weeks. And then I solved the problem that I heard as objections, because people were saying insurance, or I might get hurt, or, is it safe? So I solved that problem in my second sales pitch. The price instantly jumped to $297, $200, $500, $1,500, because my bill will be at least 2 times that, $600, $1,000, $300, $300. So it jumped from 50, 50, 50, 100 to somewhere between, we'll say $300 to $1,500, and pretty consistently around that $500,000 mark. The main change was I solved the problem. I didn't change physically the product. He's still delivering the same product. He's just changing it and providing over a longer period of time, which creates a perceived value, And then it also, I solved the objection of, is it safe? By saying, yes, it's absolutely safe. This is something that everybody can do. And in fact, he's going to make sure he spends the time with you to make sure that it gets done safely. Hands to the camera if you understand the shift. It now provides value, now solves a problem. The problem was safety. The problem was I would do a backflip if I thought it was safe. Hands to the camera if you understand the difference there. Excellent. Now we want to go and we want to do an experience. We want to go into your business, because every week I like to do an experience. Every week as we go through the 52 weeks to wealth, we dive into something tangible, something that you can take home right now, an experience for you that you can apply to your business. Because every week, one of these 52 wealth principles should be applied to your business, one principle at a time. You can go to the website. You can go to waltermorello.com, go to education, and go down to 52 weeks, and you can go through all 52 weeks every day. They're affirmations, and you could do those affirmations, but it'd be hard to work on all 52. Hands to the camera if you understand that at one time. That's why each week we deep dive into one. Those are my affirmations. Those are what I said to myself for years while I was building this business, these businesses. But they were not something I focused on every day. I focused on one at a time for weeks at a time. And that's why the 52 weeks we do one at a time. So your business must solve a problem. Pull out your pen and paper. You know, we do this every week. Pull out your pen and paper. And I want you to write down what your business is, with the title you say you are. I know Ryan McDermott says, I'm a financial planner, or I'm an advisor of sorts. I'm a man who makes sure that you pay less money on taxes. He has many titles. Ryan, what is the title you like the most, since I'm picking on you?
I think simply financial planner.
Financial planner. So this is not financial advice. It's financial planning. Ryan McDermott is a coach in the mentorship, a phenomenal friend, and a real estate investor, as well as a financial planner. And his business has a lot of really rough connotations. Hands to the camera if you've ever been sold insurance or they've tried to sell you insurance. Yes, but they don't listen. They don't solve a problem. They create a problem. They are the problem. Yes, Ryan McDermott is the opposite. He's just a really good person who likes to make money, likes to help other people make money. He tax advantages people. And so his business actually solves a problem. Hands to the camera if you know we pay a lot of taxes as entrepreneurs. When we do well, we pay taxes, yes. So somebody like Ryan McDermott can help advantage you to taxes. He solves the problem of paying too much taxes and putting your money into play. So when you're not able to use tax money because it got taken away, but then you get it back. So Ryan's able to protect that tax money. You can now use that money to grow your business, grow your investments. Hands to the camera if that's a problem that a solution you'd like in your life. Absolutely. But there is a lot of financial advisors out there that don't move forward with that solution. They don't focus on that solution. They focus on what they want, which is the money in their pocket. So the reason you started a business was money in your pocket. The problem your business solves, this is what we're about to go into. Write down what your business is or what your title is. And now think about why you got into that business in the first place. As I was talking about my brother and his backflipping, my brother got into backflipping to be cool. He wanted to be the guy who could do the thing that nobody else could do. He wanted to be out on the dance floor and just boom, backflip. And everybody's like, oh, can you do that again? My brother has never, ever in my life done a backflip once. It always seems that when you do it once, somebody else wants to see you do it again. Hands to the camera if you are familiar with that experience. You do something cool and people are like, oh, do it again. Yes. So he's never done the backflip once. But when he started, he didn't know how to do the backflip. The problem was, it was like a decade ago, or it was 12 or 15 years ago. He's been backflipping half of his life. And so he forgot that first initial emotion of, I don't know how to do this. I would literally pay anything to learn how to do this. Hands to the camera if you recognize that you at some point had that feeling in your business. Excellent. So write down that feeling of where you were before you started doing what you do. 50% you're going to have a problem with this. 50% of you did truly get into the business just to make money. Hands to the camera if you're one of those people. You're like, no, I just picked it because it made money. Like that was the reason. Okay. Me too. I get it. So for those of us who just got in to make money, we have to do a different angle. One, is this for us? Is this business the right business for us? Why is our major concern making money? And if our major concern is making money and we're in a business that makes money, then maybe we could teach that business. It might make sense for you to teach the business if making money was your major focus, and that's why you got it. It wasn't because of some sort of need or desire. It was I want to make money. And so that's sometimes where the best coaches come from. Hence the camera, if you recognize that. Excellent. So now that you've identified the reason or the pain point, the stress, I want you to focus some energy on that. Focus on the lack of having that skill that you've acquired. Focus on the lack of, for many of us as real estate investors, the lack of acquiring property, the lack of having that wealth or having that money in the bank or not having that property that we really wanted, like that longing desire to have that property. Focus on that desire, focus on that skill or that lack, and remember the memory, remember the emotion. Now, I know most of you, every week, me and Terry say, stay out of lack. We want to put you in abundance. And I know Doug is thinking the same thing. He's like, why lack? But I want you to have that pain for just a moment, because that's what most people experience around this topic. Around your business, most people that are your client are experiencing a lack emotion around this product that you sell. Even though you have the abundance emotion around it, I could do this all day. This is easy. I love it. I got inventory. I got plenty of this right here. You may have that experience. Stage speaking, for me, I could do this all day. Sometimes I forget the value of what I do. Sometimes it's possible for us coaches, right? We could coach all day, never get drained, like no big deal. Sometimes it's easy for us to forget that we probably should take a break or charge a little more, or scale up, because we just love what we do. Hands to the camera if you love what you do. Excellent. I don't see some hands. That's okay. There's still ways I make money that I don't love. Hands to the camera if you make money, but you don't necessarily love what you do. That's all right. Look, I don't actually love owning real estate. I love the wealth. I love the people that I work with. I love my property manager, so I got to keep her busy. I love my business partner. I love my investors, so I got to keep making them money. Those are things that I love. My tenants, I love my tenants. When they text me with concerns or they want to buy houses, like, I love my tenants. But owning the real estate, that does nothing for me. It just means I'm winning the game. It's just a checkbox in life. Hands to the camera if you recognize that. Excellent. And if I had no tenants tomorrow, but I maintained the same income, I would do that. Hands to the camera if you feel that way about your business. If you could, you would just earn the money and then you do something different with your life. So that's okay too. You don't, like the people who say you have to love it. No, it's not true. You have to love what you do, but you don't necessarily have to love your business. You have to respect it. You have to care for it. You have to nurture it. You have to treat it like it's a baby and it's your child, but you don't necessarily have to get excited when you think about the work itself. Your work, yes. The work other people are doing, you have to get excited about them doing it, but it doesn't have to be your work. In the beginning, when you're starting, you probably have to do everything. It's cool. But don't stay in starting mode. Keep moving forward, grow it, expand it, learn it, do it, delegate, learn it, do it, delegate. I teach this because it's a lesson I have to learn. I recently delegated some of the trainings that we do in the coaching program to some of our fellow coaches. And it was the hardest thing for me to do because I'm like, I learn it, I do it. I love coaching. I want to do these calls. I want to do this consistently. And like the moral and ethical thing to scale is to bring other people in, to add value to their income streams, to add more celebrity to their status, to get more people, more deals. That's the ethical thing for me to do. It's the same in your business. So don't stay in learn it, do it mode. As fun as it is, learn it, do it, delegate it, teach it, share it, employ it, hire it out. Hands to the camera if we agree we could do this. So if there are things in your business that you don't get excited about, those could be suspect. Those could be the ones that you hire out first, but you do have to do them all. And until then, trick the pony. Get excited about every part of your business. Get excited about every part of your business. When you identify lack, the emotion of lack, hands to the camera if you recognize that emotion of lack that you felt 5, 10 years ago, a year ago, whenever you started your business. Whenever that comes up in a different area in your life, change it. Because the people who experience lack suffer. They pay more, right? Your clients are going to pay you because they're experiencing the lack emotion. Does that make sense? The idea is to solve the lack problem. Provide abundance, provide something that they're missing, something that you have a lot of. I have a lot of education. I have a lot of knowledge. I have a lot of resources and networks and experience. And so I provide training in the mentorship. I have a massive network of coaches who are smarter than me in their specific arena. And I knew that this was the right thing to build because I did something. I'm going to have you write this down on your paper. I asked my ideal client what they were looking for. I asked them what their biggest problem was. I said, what is your biggest problem? What are you looking for? In fact, I just asked the question on my Facebook page 2 days ago. What wholesaling pieces or elements are missing in your life? What would you like to learn in wholesaling? I just put it out there on Facebook and I got a bunch of responses. You know what those responses are? My next course. That's it. I ask what you want, I deliver. Hands to the camera if you understand the principle of it must solve a problem. I ask, what is the problem? What is the pain point? What is when we give the instruction, the example of my brother's gym, his problem was we didn't believe it was safe. When I solved that problem, the price went from $50 to $500 to $1,000. Did you see that jump? I did not change the product. I solved the problem, which was a perception of the product. Perception is believing. Write this down. Perception is believing. You are not paid because what you sell is hard. You're paid because it's perceived to be valuable. Perceived to be valuable. I have had programs that I was selling for $10 that I could not sell. I have sold programs for $50 and $100 that I could not get people to stop buying. I've had products like, okay, the mentorship, $1,000. I sold for $1,000 last year. We had over 100 people come through the mentorship in 1 year. I've had products that were significant. I put a ton of work. My coaching program, I used to give my coaching program away. I couldn't get people to take it. I couldn't get people to take me seriously on the coaching. They'd show up a week or two and never follow through. Recently, I sold it for $5,000, which I was told by everybody who signed up, it was affordable, it was cheap, it was inexpensive. The value we deliver is way more than what that program was worth. Ken, Melanie, what do you think? Yes? Extreme value? And we're just getting started. Give them a round of applause. Absolutely. Absolutely. We're just getting started, and it's amazing to watch both you and Saeed and my brother now take it to the next level. But I should have charged $25,000 because at $5,000, I'd have to coach I have to coach 100 people to hit my $500,000 mark this year. Does that make sense? Is it 6? Yeah. So, okay. So if I charge 25,000, 100, that hit my 2.5 million mark. Is that what it is? Yeah. So if I want to make 2.5 million, I'd have to serve 100 people. Grasp that? Well, no, wait, hold on. Yeah, if I want to hit $1 million, what's $1 million times 25,000, babe? I got it. Whoever can figure that out fastest, drop it in the chat. Those numbers are awkward numbers. I'll tell you exactly how much cash flow I get off of a 6-family or a 3-family, but hey Siri, what's 25,000 times divided by 100? Hey Siri, what's...
Okay, I found this on the web for what's 25.
She's good. She's good. All right, 25 billion. Jillian, I like that number. Hell yeah. It's all right. I got everybody in knowledge mode and math mode's not there. 25,000 divided by 1 million. So $1 million. million divided by 25K. There you go. 40 people. That's a lot of hours to do weekly coaching in a week. But imagine doing it 5. I'd have to bring in, every time I go to do math, I get nervous, 220 people. 220 people, which means I couldn't physically do that in a week. That's 110 hours a week at $5,000 per coaching session. Does that make sense? But at 25, that's 5 times more. I can make $1 million working 5 times less. So it's understanding and creating a better product for the value of your time. Now, not everybody can pay a $25,000 product. Hence the camp, if you recognize that. Not everybody's ready for that. And so sometimes you have to serve a certain type of person or certain type of clientele with the product you have until you can develop a better product, or until you can develop a better base, a better group of people for what you're looking to sell. One of the problems or reasons that your business isn't doubling its income or getting to where you want is you're working with the same clientele that you've always worked with, or you're working with the same amount of clients that you've always worked with, or some of you are working with less clients than you've worked with and not charging anymore, not providing a better service. And so that will decrease or stabilize income. Hence the camera, if that makes sense. Excellent. And I like using the coaching program because it's something that I physically actually still do. But I could go to real estate. Sometimes we buy units, and we buy those units where $600 is the rent, and we want to get that rent up to $800 or $1,000. Market rent is $1,200, so we've got to make that jump. Means I got to change the client. Does that make sense? Sometimes I've got to have a conversation with that tenant and be like, yo, it just doesn't work anymore. You are not right for me, and I'm not right for you. We got to go. We got to move. Or you're going to improve yourself. You are going to step up, and here's Raft or Section 8 or just a rent increase. Maybe I like the client enough to work with them. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. But Ron and I have had this conversation many times. Sometimes we buy a building and we're like, I'd rather just have this building vacant because these are not the ideal client. This is not the person we want to work with. We want somebody who has the ability to pay, the desire to pay. And if the unit is in a bad condition, we don't want to provide that product either. We want to get rid of that product and improve our product, get it better, renovate, put in the countertops, put in the floors, paint, fix the electrical, get it nice so that we can provide a better product to a better client. Is this making sense? Excellent. So it works in every business. It works in every business all across the board. I used my education company. I used my rental property company. Where are my hands at? Real estate agents, salespeople. Where are my salespeople at? You've got a product that sells for more. You do. Every salesperson on here has a product that sells for more. There's a way to take a little extra cash from your clients, and they'll thank you for it. We're going to do an exercise. I just can't feel like these exercises. You know, you gain something from these every week. Awesome. Awesome. So this exercise is all about how to add more value to the clients that you're already working and qualify better clients. I like to bring my clients together in a space. Zoom rooms are a perfect example. Facebook groups are another example. Because we got COVID, we can leverage these assets very comfortably right now. You can put your clients in a space where you qualify whether they're a serious buyer, a not so serious buyer, and a definitely not ever going to buy from you, a tire kicker, right? A suspect, not a prospect. So you want to separate the difference between suspects and prospects. And suspects need to just get rid of. Prospects need to be turned over into buyers. Add value, add value, add value, add value, provide a service, solve a problem. So the biggest problem that most people have is they don't know what they want. Typically, that is the problem with most prospects and suspects. They don't actually know what they want. If they don't know what they want, they can't work with you. But if somebody knows what they're looking for, they're going to start taking certain actions. They're going to start doing certain things, acting a certain way. We call these behaviors. And these behaviors are going to be tracked. Facebook tracks behavior. You can track behavior. When I was a real estate agent and I worked the retail side, this is the retail side, not the investor side that we've moved into. But when I was a retail agent, I used to track weddings. I would go, I would identify when people were having a wedding, and I would be at the wedding expos. I had this insight because I used to sell wedding invitations, but I knew that everybody who bought invitations bought a house right afterwards, right? They buy the invitations, they get married, house. It was like boom, and baby, right? So baby, house, and marriage. They all kind of went together in this cycle. Hands to the camera if you know somebody who did them all in 1 year. Yeah, like no particular order, but typically married, house, baby. We agree? That's the ideal plan. Yes, they don't always follow it, but that's basically how it is. So whenever I knew someone was getting engaged, I knew it was time for me to show up. They had a new problem. They had 2 people who wanted to have a baby. Now I didn't have to help with the baby part, but I had to give them a place to do it. Does that make sense? Excellent. This is how it works in all businesses. When somebody is thinking, would you like to know how I fill my events, how I identify and fill these events, and I bring people into my coaching program? Excellent. So I know at some point in the process to buying real estate, what I learned as an agent, because I was an agent first. I was an investor before I was an agent, and then I was a coach after being an agent. But I started coaching and training to attract clients because I identified something very interesting. Before somebody went to buy real estate, before an investor went to buy real estate, they went on Bigger Pockets. Before they went to buy real estate, they went to real estate investor associations. Before they went to buy real estate, they went on meetup.com and they typed in real estate events, learning, education, how to buy real estate. In the coaching arena, the number one tag for us is how to buy real estate, how to buy a house with no money. These are the tags that we look for. So when people are Googling and searching and in those groups and arenas, I know they might be ready for me. They might be ready to learn how to build wealth. They might be at that point, that early stage. And so I'll hit them with wholesaling. I'll say, you want to learn how to wholesale? Come on in, wholesale. This is what we do. We wholesale. And then once they're in, I give them everything that I've got. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. We sell a lot more than just wholesaling. We sell mindset. We sell buy real estate. We sell cash flow. We sell learn how to be an investor. We sell an affiliate sales program. We sell a build your business program. We sell the 52 weeks to wealth. Hands to the camera if you're getting some value out of the 52 weeks to wealth. We're just getting started. This is just the beginning. The first 10 to 12 principles are really basic principles. They get your gears going. They get the mold going. The middle half of the principles are designed to really open things up and get you moving in a much bigger, faster manner. And the last principles, the last 10, 15, they're super, super high level. These principles are very much mindset based. They're very much how to get to the net, prepare you for next year to double your income again, double your net worth again. The mentorship was built because it was what I wish existed when I first started. The mentorship is what I wish I had when I had no money. I wish somebody came along and said, for $1,200, you get access to my network. You get access to my coaches, the people who I go to for advice. You get access to Doug McGurk, the person who gives me stage speaking advice. You get access to Terry Wager, the person who gives me double your income advice. This is how you can improve what you're doing. You get access to Ryan McDermott, the person who teaches me how to advantage myself from taxes. You get Mitch Jorsky, the person who literally taught me cryptocurrency. Who was here last night at the crypto call? Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. If it wasn't for Mitch, I wouldn't have been able to triple my investment in the last 4 months on cryptocurrency. If it wasn't for his education, if it wasn't for Dorina and her ability to connect people, absolutely fascinating. I learned so much from working with Dorina, and She has allowed me to connect with people way outside of my circle that I would not have thought I'd connect with. Rod Cleef, Jake and Gino, like some people that just I did not know I had the ability to connect with. The coaches have skills. Christine runs and automates businesses. She helps manage that with generator coaching with Dr. Terry Wager because she has experience at a company that I think is one of the best education companies on the planet. And if you haven't heard that Starbucks University really is one of the best education companies on the planet, you haven't been reading enough books because they are acclaimed for building business owners. They're known for teaching people how to run businesses because they're so in tune with the human mind and teamwork and how businesses really grow and build. And it's part of the culture. So Christine is great at that. I take advice from these people. I brought them for you. It's part of the mentorship. The mentorship is $1,200, 8 weeks, 8 weeks of hardcore habit building. There are 5 books that I require you to read. 5 books, a foundational 5. It is non-negotiable. This is part of the mentorship. Here's what's cool. Everybody before the mentorship used to read a book occasionally. After the mentorship, they can't stop reading books. Hands to the camera if you went through the mentorship, you're a graduate, and you read a book a week still. Give yourselves a round of applause. I love everybody in the community. It's amazing to watch you grow. It's amazing to see the progress each one of you is making. You also get access to the amazing Alchemist community. These men and women are growing daily. Every day they're thinking bigger. Every day they're taking action. These people are more than what they came in this room as, but they came here because they're like you. They're motivated. They wouldn't have shown up. They wouldn't have stayed on the call every week if they weren't motivated, if they didn't want more, if they didn't know they were capable of significantly more than they're doing. And that's why they keep showing up. That's why they network with each other. That's why they ask questions. My phone doesn't stop all week long. My phone does not stop, and I love it because a quiet phone means somebody's not making money. A quiet phone means somebody's not asking me a question, which means they're not taking action. If you take enough action, my phone should never stop. When you're not taking action, you don't need me. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. I solve problems. I solve problems. My entire business is what your business has to do also. All of the coaches, we solve problems. There's a reason we charge what we charge, for sure. And the mentorship gives you a taste. You get access to a lot. You also get access to the net worth tracker. What you track expands. What you think about, you bring about. What you focus on, you get more of. And so we track net worth in a very unique and special way. And we make sure that you're tracking it weekly. And I have Ryan McDermott every week remind you why it's so important to do that. It makes sense to have a financial planner help you with your financial planning. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. Do you agree? Yes. Yes. It's worth every penny. The financial being entity that you become, the machine that you become, just generating income and spending less time is part of our culture. It's part of our community. We celebrate Melanie, right? Because Melanie is always saying, my business is boring. There's nothing for me to do. Good. That means you've won. Let's give Melanie a round of applause. You've won. That's what the business is supposed to do. You're not supposed to create a job for yourself. Listen to this. Listen to me. You're not supposed to create a job for yourself. The point is not to work. It's to generate income. I put that on my first book. I wrote it on my wall years ago. I wrote it up on the top of my wall on a whiteboard, and it stayed there. And then when I wiped that whiteboard, I put it somewhere else. I kept moving that sentence because it was a truth that I had not heard before. It was a truth that I could not deny anymore. The truth was that the point is not to work, it's to generate income. And it had become so much a part of what our culture was in building our brokerage and building our real estate investment company. Ron and I would say all the time, dude, we're working in the business. We fucked up. Like something's wrong. We're working in the business. We should be working on the business. And so we would pivot. We would get mad enough, and you got to get mad if you're working in your business. You got to get mad enough to say, I got to go do something different. I've got to change. I've got to take the coach on who knows how to do what I don't know how to do. I've got to partner with somebody on a bigger deal than I've ever done. I've got to take on projects. I've got to set myself up for long-term gains. I've got to think longer term. The biggest problem I see with people who are unsuccessful is they're thinking too short term. They want today money. They want yesterday money, but they're not willing to do what it takes to line up everyday money. They're not willing to do what it takes to build all the relationships. I talk about tendency a lot, because it's money that comes in no matter what. I love tenancy. I think we have at least 50 paying tenants right now. 50 paying tenants. We have a building that's completely vacant. We bought a sober house, so it's 18 units just sitting there doing absolutely nothing at the moment as the renovations are being done. But 50 tenants that are paying us every month. Didn't start that way. It started with 3 tenants. Actually, my business actually started with 2 tenants. I was living in 1 unit. It started with 2 tenants. And then it was 2 more tenants. I bought a 2-family on the side. And then I bought another 3 families. So it was another 3 tenants. Then it was another 4 tenants. And I kept adding tenants to the portfolio over time. But now that's $38,000 a month that can't be stopped. $38,000 a month coming in every single month. Hence the camp, if you'd like $38,000 of unstoppable income from assets worth $5.5 million. Assets that are nearly worth $6 million. And by the way, we're buying a bunch of real estate. We're putting things under agreement over the next couple of months. We've already locked one down. That'll add another $1 million to net worth to the portfolio. Net worth, another $3 million to the assets. So we're almost $10 million in assets. Hands to the camera. If you know it doesn't happen overnight, but it could happen for you if you stay at it, stick to it. Yes. When I started, all I wanted to do was get to 40 units and then retire. I did. But as I've been building, I realized there's more problems to be solved. There's more people out there. There's more things to be done, but they don't necessarily have to be done by me. In fact, Ron and I had the conversation this week, and he asked me, he's like, what do you want? Answer the camp if you want to know what I want. Excellent. So what do you want? And I looked back and I said, Ron, I really just want to work with people who want to go do everything that I want to do. So I don't necessarily want to go do it myself, but I would much rather work with millionaires who want to go train future millionaires. That's my highest leverage piece. Like if I just did that every week, I'd be hitting my goal of 100 millionaires. Hands to the camera if you recognize that. If I just built a network of millionaires and said, ladies, gentlemen, let's go have an impact on the world. Let's go change things. Let's go do something. Let's just do it for fun. Let's see what we can do. And obviously millionaires, they want to make money for their time. So we charge just like we do in the coaching programs. We just spread out the wealth and charge, bring in more people. I told them that's all I would do, man. I would literally hang out with rich, successful celebrities and inspire them to make more rich and successful celebrities. That would be my gig. So let's go and find the rich and successful people and then inspire them to make sure that everybody on the planet has financial freedom. Let's inspire them to at least get the people who will listen, like you, the people who will listen to get to the next level. And for the people that are in our community, and I told them, I was like, our community is my top priority. I want to make sure that I'm always there for them. And I told them I'll do Saturdays probably for the rest of my life. I'll always do Saturdays. That's one of those things that it just feels right to me. It feels right to be here. It feels right to spend time with people I care about, people that are growing and expanding. And, for everybody in the mentorship, our special time on Saturdays, I like those. I like coming in and asking you what your wins are. Those are the things I like to do. And during the week, man, I just want to learn. I want to learn. I want to connect with people smarter than me. I want to reach out to more people, learn more stuff. I'm a learner. I started all this. I got wealthy and built wealth not to have the money. I did it because I was told that you learn from being a millionaire. You have to learn. You have to become somebody different. And so I've learned. And I've discovered that I want to see what it's like to be a billionaire. I want to see the lessons you have to learn, the person you have to become. And so I'm still going. Life life doesn't stop when you hit your goals. You just find more goals. That's okay if you recognize that. You got something and you're like, okay, now I want something more. I got the knowledge of becoming a millionaire. Now I want to know what it takes to become a decamillionaire. And once I get decamillion, which we're very close now, well, I got to aim for something bigger, hecto, right? Hectomillionaire. Here's the problem. These things happen too fast. I hit them too quickly. So we set the goal of billionaire, right? You will hit your goals faster than you think. Write this down. I will hit my goals faster than I think. And they will take longer than you think. They will take longer than you think. There's a book of the week. Darina, what is the book of the week?
Oh, it's Elon Musk. It's your favorite one.
Answer the camera if you've read the book Elon Musk. Excellent. Excellent. It's a great book. And the reason we chose that book, me and Mike both read it recently. Your business must solve a problem. That principle could not be better defined by what Elon has done with Tesla, by what he's done with SpaceX, by what he's done with Solar City, and the other businesses he's built, Zip2, PayPal. You go back to his origins. Elon was always looking to solve a problem and connect a dollar sign to it. If he couldn't figure out how to make money solving the problem, he did not solve the problem. Hence the camera, if you understand that. So Elon is a very unique entrepreneur. He was economically inclined. From an early age, he was very good at economics, but he was also an engineer. And so this book really goes through the story of how his childhood was, how he was raised, why he thought the way he thought, the encouragement he received, and the discouragement he received, and what that created for him. So if you want to understand greatness, study greatness. If you want to be great, study how the greats were built. I could relate to a lot of the things that he experienced. And if you listen to the psychologists in the book, the people who break down his mentality, I can relate to the drive. And I believe that everyone in this room can relate to that drive, which is why we get along. Because like attracts like. Good people attract good people. People who are ambitious attract people who are ambitious. People who are motivated attract people who are motivated. People who want more will pay to hang out with people who want more. Here's the deal. People who don't want more don't pay. They like the free stuff. They like the free events. I don't have patience for free events anymore unless the event is unattainable by paying. There are certain masterminds I'm a part of you just can't buy. Literally, you can't buy to get in them. They're invite only, right? So those, like, yeah, technically, is it a free event? No. I had to become the person who could get in. Does that make sense? I had to become so valuable that the invite was delivered. There are some events you just can't pay to be there. No price can get you to that table. You have to become the person who gets invited to those tables. And that's possible because I wasn't this person a few years ago. I wasn't getting those invites a few years ago. Hence the camera, if you understand, you can change, you can grow, you can improve yourself. Excellent. Excellent. Give yourselves a round of applause. I love it. I love seeing you every week. I love seeing your success. We've got more to do. There's a lot more to create. Your business must solve a problem. If your business does not solve a problem, kill the business or change the business or change the product or change yourself. If you are not seeking to solve problems, change that about you. You can change. You are change. You're the master of your ship. When I got into the shower today, and I have the most epic thoughts when I get into the shower or I'm in the bathroom, and I got in the shower and I was like, damn, I'm the captain of my ship. I want to say that to people today. I feel like everybody needs to know that you control the boat. You control the direction that you're going in. You decide what problems you're solving. You decide how big those problems are. Ron and I, we asked ourselves, we sit down every week. We do the visionary integrator meeting. And we asked, what's the big problem that we could solve this year? What's the really big one? This is where the 100 Millionaires started, was these sort of thoughts. And we said, who's the big client? Who's the big client with the big problem? And we really looked around at what we're good at. We're good at real estate deals. We're good at raising capital. We're good at making deals work, putting deals together. And we said, who does the biggest deals? Who does the 1,000 deals a year? There's only 1,000 big, large multifamily deals done a year in the country. 1,000. These are 500 plus deals. That's it. Only 1,000 of them. Who's doing those deals? Hedge funds and syndications. Hedge funds and syndications. And so we looked at what are their problems. Well, they're always having the problem of finding the deal or raising capital. Everybody at that level has figured out how to manage the deal. Hence the camera, if you understand that at that point, you just pay for it. It's pretty easy. Property manager in place, done. But sometimes they're not good at that. And that's where we get access to really inexpensive deals that aren't working well because they hadn't figured out the management piece. And so what Ron and I decided is we're going to go solve the problems for the biggest people on the planet in real estate. So we'll raise capital for syndications, we'll find deals for syndications, and we'll take over buildings that are being poorly run by poorly run syndications. That's it. We solve problems for bigger people. That is an instant increase in income. The acquisition fee on those projects is anywhere between 100,000 to 350, 400, 500,000. The acquisition on a $40 million building or a $50 million building, the fee is pretty sweet. Hence the camera, if you recognize it, it pays the bills. You can do all right. There's just less of them. And so you have to be more skilled. You have to be more talented. That gets me excited. That means I get to learn. It means there's a new challenge ahead of me. There's a new skill to learn. There's a new thing. There's mistakes that will be made, of course, but it's a new level of playing. It's an arena I know there's less people at. I like deep relationships. I really do. I like to go deep in relationships. I like to build people. I like to spend time with people for the long term. My love language is not gifts like Rod Cleef. My love language is quality time. So if I'm going to spend quality time, I want to make sure it's with quality people. Hands to the camera if you recognize you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Yes. Currently, I spend my most time with you. You are the person I spend the most time with, this community. And so I've got to make sure you keep growing. I got to make sure you keep leveling up. So Ron and I opened up Be the Bank, which is a training that he and I have been talking about creating for years. I've actually half written the book, and it probably won't be out for another year or two. But Be the Bank is all about passive investing, how to do what he and I do. I'm not involved in our properties. Hands to camera, if you know, I live in Tampa. I'm moving all my stuff right now, but I've lived in Tampa the last 4 months. Nothing changed with the portfolio except rents went up and things got smoothed out. And the refinance got done by Ron Bolin. I'm a passive investor. You know, there's about 1.5, well, I guess $2.5 million of my equity or my real estate in that company. 2.75 after the most recent appraisal. So 2.75 now of real estate I own with Ron that I don't have to do any work on, just passive. And the equity on that part of my portfolio is whatever half of that is, half of 2.75. So 1.3, somewhere in that, 1.325 is money that is in play that somebody else is working to give me a return on. Passive investing. It is the ultimate goal. You may not be there yet, but you got to get there on some level. Work that passive muscle. So every Friday at 5 p.m., I'm talking about Be the Bank. I'll be teaching how to be the bank. Even if you're the bank on $10, start with $10. Be the bank on $10 so that bank can increase. When you're 30, 40, 50 years old, 60 years old, and you want to retire, you're going to be thankful that you spent time on being the bank. You're going to be thankful that you spent time on getting money to work for you, getting money to go do its job, getting Uncle Benjamin, getting Jackson, getting Washington. I don't care if it's $1, if you're investing $1, right? Getting them to go out there and do what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to go make more money. That's why we put them on the bills, because they were the people we had the most faith in. Hands to the camera if you understand. We put the people who signed the Declaration for our independence on our bills for a reason. Those dead presidents, those philosophers, those politicians, they're supposed to go out and get you freedom, financial freedom. Hence the camera if you understand. That's why they're on the bills. They got us freedom the first time. Let's put them back to work. If you don't have the freedom you want, it's because you don't have the faith in those bills. You don't got them out there working. Here's the other side, though. The currency is dropping, so you do want to get some education on cryptocurrency. because I do think, I believe, I know that that is likely the future, and it's going to have a lot of impact on your life. So getting an education with it, talk to Mitch Jaworski about a course he's got coming up that he doesn't know he's got coming up that I'm going to have him charge about $500 to $1,000 to do. That's probably going to be 6 weeks that he's convinced he's not doing, but it is a valuable course on how to make money in crypto that I believe that is his moral, ethical duty to do. And at some point, he will also agree with me. Let's give Mitch a round of applause because he has said adamantly for weeks, no, I'm not doing 6 weeks. No, I'm not doing 6 weeks. But I intentionally started this conversation with the value difference of an hour and 6 weeks. Hands to the camera if you saw the difference, the perceived value. Yes, yes, yes. We pay $97 for 1 hour. We pay $1,000 for 6 weeks of knowing we're not going to get hurt, knowing we're not going to make a mistake. Hands to the camera if you see the value, if it makes a lot of sense. I agree. Let's open it up to the coaches. By the way, valuable lesson this week, your business must solve a problem. We all commit to solving a bigger problem or solving the problem better, or if we're not solving a problem, scrapping the product and getting a product that does solve a problem. If you are not making enough money, you're not solving a big enough problem for enough people. That's it. Change the people if you want to solve bigger problems. If the people that you want to serve can't pay for the product you want to deliver, change the people you're hanging out with. Or change them physically or change them mentally. Whatever you got to either get them out or get them up, right? Take them with you. Hands to the camera if that makes sense. It's okay to take them with you. We're building 100 millionaires. All right. So at this point, before we dive in, hands to the camera if you know you're interested in the mentorship. Know that it would be a valuable adjustment, valuable improvement in your life. If you'd like to learn more about how to get involved, excellent. You can go to walteramarello.com/mentor, or Dorina, if you could drop in the chat, just drop in your Calendly link. Hands to the camera if you're an affiliate, if you're somebody who believes in my products and sells my products for me, sells the mentorship for me. Excellent. So if you are interested in joining the mentorship and you saw one of those beautiful men or women with their hands up and you think that they've got a good smile and you trust them and you think that that's the person you want to talk to find out if this is the right product for you, then I strongly suggest sending them a private message now while me and the coaches go over this lesson. Hands to the camera if you understand that it makes more sense to get a reference from somebody who's already been through it and is successful and doing well than it does to just listen to the bald guy on stage say, buy my product. You don't know me for anything other than all the value I just delivered. And maybe somebody who's actually had an experience would be more valuable. In fact, before I bring on the coaches, hands to the camera if you want to talk about your experience in the mentorship. Hands to the camera if you've had a great experience, you want to talk about it. Excellent. Julie Bradley, go ahead. Sandra, I'll take you on right after Julie.
Thank you, Walter. I did put it into the chat as well. That before the most momentum that has happened for me mentally and financially has been after I've gone through your mentorship program. And I also told the group in the chat, if you haven't gone through this program yet, then you're stunting your mental and financial growth. And that's what I recommend for all of you who are on the fence. Make the move.
Let's give Julie Bradley a round of applause. Julie is an amazing woman. So Julie's a real estate investor and she owns her own business as a bookkeeper. And now she's doing our books. So let's give Julie twice the round of applause. So she is just an absolute amazing part of our community. Thank you, Julie, for hanging out with us every week and for going through the mentorship, taking it so seriously. Just your energy has changed. Like forget all of the other success. Just your energy has changed from when we first met you. I felt like I was talking to a scared woman who wasn't sure if she was capable of success and wasn't sure if it was right for her, and didn't know if this was going to work. And now we look at, and we saw you finally for the first time this week. We got to meet you in person. We look at a confident woman who is taking action, who's adding value to the community, who is helped her son buy his first house. Like there's so much you're doing. Let's give Julie, we're so proud of you. Let's give her a round of applause. Absolutely amazing. What a big change in such a short period of time. And Sandra, our high eye, I know you've got to say something. I saw your hands. You were all about it. Go ahead. Where are you today, Sandra? Are you in California?
No, I'm in Texas.
Texas.
Yeah, I don't know. You were talking about the Declaration of Independence, and I mentioned Cicero. So Cicero was like an ancient Roman philosopher, and to really understand like how America works, it's important to understand Cicero and like him. Like when you talk about understanding that we are standing on you were standing on the shoulders of giants, and to understand, like, you know, if you want to be a champion, you got to practice like a champion. So if anyone's interested in learning about Cicero, send me your email and number, and I will give you a lecture to watch, and I will do a video to explain more.
Let's give Sandra a round of applause.
Also, Elon Musk, I can't wait to hear what everyone's thoughts on the book is. It's really, really cool.
It is a fantastic book, and it is a big book. So get it on Audible. The author is Ashley, a great author. The person who narrated it was a great voice. She did an amazing job, really detailing and figuring out exactly what was going on in Elon's life, even against his will on some things. So very, very clear dictation of how success was built for him. Yeah, put the presidents to work, right?
Once they started actually, so the Renaissance, right? There was the Dark Ages and then the Renaissance. Once they started relearning about Cicero, that's when the Industrial Revolution really began, because there was a mini Industrial Revolution in the ancient Roman Empire. So anyways,
Sandra, one thing I've learned, history is a snooze fest unless you're a history buff. Hands to the camera if you know you want to ask Sandra some questions about Cicero. Excellent. So make sure you send her a message. Give Sandra a round of applause. The only time people want to know about history is when they're about to make money, when there's money behind that history. How did Uncle Benjamin get on the $100 bill? How do we get more $100 bills in our pockets? Yes. Now, history is amazing. Doreena's a huge, huge history fan. Loves it. Her whole family loves it. And I love history too. That's why I study Elon Musk, recent history. How did he become the richest man on the planet in such a short period of time? My history books are a little different. I read the success books. I read the history, the stories of successful people, because I want to learn how they did it, how they got there. You can learn a lot from people who have been successful, and you can learn a lot from failures. Look around at people who don't have a lot of money, don't do what they did. Hands to the camera if you understand that. If they're going out drinking, if they're partying every night, if they're traveling often but not meeting business partners on the trip, not going to success events on the trip, they're messing up. If you're traveling is not a business expense, you can travel right. Hence the camera if you understand. Everything is a business expense if you do it right. If you build the business the right way, everything is a business expense. Uncle Sam doesn't want your money. He wants it kept in play. He wants it invested. He wants you rolling the business, growing the business. That's right. Desiree gets it. Excellent. At this point, I want to open up to the coaches. And Ryan McDermott first, because I never know if I'm going to lose you because you got that soccer thing with the kids.
Soccer's over.
Soccer's about to begin because, you know, it's getting really warm in Massachusetts now that it's like 35 degrees out.
I don't know. You're like a taskmaster, Ryan. I could see you have your kids running outside in the snow over piles of snow, just doing soccer because, you know, it's the right thing for them. You want to build habits.
Yeah, that's 100%. Got to work a little bit every day, but no, great lesson. You know, I like, you know, that I feel like that's figuring out what problems that you're solving, you know, brings me back to kind of when I get started in my business. I think the first, you know, few years, I realized that we could solve lots of problems, right? But then the second point was if, you know, the people can't pay you to solve the problems, it's not a business, right? You know, and it probably took me the first half of my career to figure that out, right? And then kind of once you figure that out, you kind of zero in on who you can help, and that you know, sort of where people can, you know, you decide who you can help, and you get really good at helping those people. You could solve lots of those problems. But where I'm starting to get now is sort of the transformation of solving problems to providing opportunities. And that's been the kind of the, I think, the next evolution, and it just gets more and more fun, and the more and more you focus on, and you decide who you're serving, and you get really specific on that, it gets really, really interesting, and that's kind of where I'm at, and I'm ready for this next step.
Let's give Ryan McDermott a round of applause. Ryan was actually in the mentorship as a student when he became a millionaire, and we said, Ryan, you've definitely fill a void. You're a master of the financial planning, the tracker, nobody has ever written as many accomplishments in a week as Ryan McDermott, up until Dave Cordero. I will say that Dave Cordero gives Ryan a run for his money on how many things he can accomplish in a week, which I love seeing the accountability for each one of our students. It's absolutely amazing. Let's give Ryan McDermott a round of applause. Great coach, great person, great wealth builder himself, owns real estate, owns stocks, owns himself, owns his business, and is looking to take himself to the next level. Definitely love seeing you grow, brother. Who's next? Let's say Dr. Terry Wager. You got the great shirt on, Terry. I see it. 100 millionaires. Hell yeah.
I think the interesting thing is that we work with a lot of businesses. And they all come in and they want to get clients, but they don't know how to talk about the problem they solve. They don't know how to talk about it in a way that's attractive and that's connecting to the people who have that problem. And so that's one of the first places we start, is really helping you be able to talk about the problem you solve in a way that attracts people to listen to you. The interesting thing about this community is this is a community of people who want to learn how to be investors. And over and over and over, I see people come in and they have the mindset of trying to get a house rather than solve a problem. Or they try to get property rather than solve a problem. And so when we can help you guys shift into the problem you solve, helps that person who has the property, now it becomes an exchange and the value goes up. And so that's one of the first things that I try to help people in the mentorship and in the different communities that we're talking to, or the what are these things? Sessions that we're talking about. Losing my words here. It's 7:30 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. When we're in here, we try to really help everybody to realize that you guys are solving a problem. But when we come in and start asking for something from other people, it doesn't work the same way as when we provide something to people. And so finding that problem that we solve is the most amazing piece of beginning to develop a relationship. I was talking to somebody yesterday who was upset because they're changing their position in their work. Their work is actually changing their position for them, and they're not really happy about it. And she's like, what about me? What about me? And I was like, look, it's not really about you, unfortunately. It's about how you can help whoever you're in front of, no matter what position. And when you can be okay with that, you're going to enjoy whatever you do. And so the joy of working comes out of seeing how we can serve others. And that's where the problem we solve comes in. When we can solve their problem, we start to enjoy what we do.
I absolutely agree with Dr. Terry Wager. If you haven't heard already, Dr. Terry is probably the king of mindset. He is the master of generating income. He helps you double your income. Hands the camera if you know you want to double your income in 2021. Yes, this is what he does personally himself. He helps us do it. He helps you do it. Everybody in the mentorship gets a session with Dr. Terry Wager. They get a session with Ryan McDermott. And those are part of the mentorship. The reason that we do this is so that you can get to the next level. We're all wearing it. We all rock. We all believe it. We're building 100 millionaires in 2021. The drive is strong. The goal is big. It's an ambitious goal. Hence the camera if you recognize. You don't know anybody who's done that before. That's right. And so we're going after it, and we're driving hard, and we're pushing each other, and we're supporting each other, and we're learning, and we're growing. And because the goal is so big, it's pulling in other people. It's pulling in people who we wouldn't have connected with otherwise. Doug McGurk, I see you rocking the brand, brother. What is your big take? What is your piece of advice for helping make sure your business solves a problem?
Well, dude, this was action-packed, wisdom-packed, knowledge bombs everywhere. I love also the reframe that Ryan shared. That it's also, shifting the mindset from just solving a problem to providing opportunity. So there are some people who may get locked up into the problem mindset and be more focused on being able to provide opportunity mindset. And it's a minor shift, and it depends on, as long as you're clear on what the problem is, that you can then be sure you get with Terry to get clear on what the problem is before you start framing things in ways that are not necessarily going to be as effective. But the other thing that is really valuable, and I think Fred's going to dig this as well, make money, have fun. If you don't love what you're doing, you're not going to be able to sustain the work necessary to do what it takes, because there's going to be obstacles. There's going to be challenges. That's why this community is so powerful, because we coach you through it. And yet, if you're still dreading it and you're like, oh, I hate that part, oh my gosh, then what's the point? So find the way to enjoy the process. And then the last thing, which was so huge, is that company you keep. Man, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, you surround yourself with people that hold you to a higher standard, that you're hanging out with people whose normal is what you aspire to, you naturally start just raising your mindset just by proxy, because they're just thinking different, right? Water seeks its own level. So that is why this is such an important environment. And if you're not in the mentorship, get in it, because that just naturally is going to happen, because they just think differently. People who operate at this level just have a completely different mindset. So, obviously this is brilliant. Today was brilliant. I could go off for hours. I won't. Thank you for the opportunity. You rock.
Doug McGurk, he's the king of NLP. Thank you, Doug. If you have not heard of NLP before, I don't know if you're living under a rock, but neuro-linguistic programming is how you become successful. It's changing your frame. It's what Dr. Terry Wager uses all the time in his coaching programs, is to make sure that you understand a powerful frame. Doug teaches the heart of NLP, and you can go to heartofnlp.org and learn more about it. Doug's another one of our coaches, and him and Terry work together to make sure that people have the knowledge that they require to be a better salesperson, to be a better human being. In fact, my brother last night, I do a coaching call with my brother every Friday at 4:30. And he accused me. He said, bro, are you NLPing me right now? And I was like, bro, my frame is so strong, I don't even know anymore. Yeah. I have no clue. I just say the things that I know are the right things to say. And if you feel compelled to do what I'm suggesting you do, then they have worked. So the frame that you can build, it's just habits, it's words, it's ways of saying things that you instill into yourself, and they just become who you are. And so you can actually become a better person. You can actually become somebody who inspires people. You can actually become somebody who identifies quickly the right thing to say to somebody, to give them a better day, to give them the right advice, to move them in the right direction. You have the ability to learn this because the rest of us have learned it. The rest of us were not natural speakers. We were not natural coaches. We were not natural NLP practitioners. But Dr. Terry Wager, Doug, myself, we've gone and we've studied. And Doug studied with, what's his name? Tony
Robbins.
That one guy.
Tony Robbins, right? 3 years traveled with Tony Robbins, working with Tony Robbins, selling his programs, building his community. Answer the camera if you think he's qualified to help you do the same. I agree. Let's give Doug one more round of applause. And before we do any more coaches, I did tell Melanie that I'd pick on her because I pick on her every week. Melanie is one of our beautiful resident millionaires, multimillionaires, and she's going for a pretty big goal this year. She wants to double her net worth, and she's in the coaching program. So every Friday at 3 o'clock, me and Melanie do a one-on-one, and I work very, very easily. I don't put too much effort into Melanie. Every week she comes back saying she did what she said she would. And every week she says, it's just so boring. I want to do something exciting. And so last week or the week before, I was like, why don't you just learn crypto and keep buying businesses? Keep doing what you do very well. Buy your businesses, keep doing the real estate and just learn crypto. But don't go and mess up the businesses that are running perfectly. Just keep buying more. Don't open the Shake Shack, Melanie. Go and buy more Subways. You're the queen of Subway. Let the world know. In fact, March 9th, me and Melanie are doing a training for Subways, and she is terrified because she's barely promoted it. And so now this week, she's got to go and call all of her Subway owner friends and let them know about this event where she and I are going to teach Subway owners one thing that'll improve their Subway. Let's give Melanie a round of applause. There is nothing that moves a D like a fire under their ass in a community who believes in them. So thank you so much for helping me with this coaching program. I make sure that I over deliver with the people that I care about. And Melanie is one of those people, a very good friend and somebody we want to see be very successful, just like all of you. Christine McGinley, if you could give us a little piece of advice on how to create a business that solves a problem.
Well, that was a different direction that I was going, but knowing the business is knowing the problems you solve. My challenge to you today, we're going to take action, is write down 20 problems you solve. So and then identify the top one that's going to make you the most money. What does the client or customer or prospect, what is their biggest problem, or how can you speak about it to connect with them? Because the biggest connection in making the business and the prospect want to say, hey, I need to talk to you, is by connecting with them, that you understand their problems, you understand what they're going through, you understand where they want to be and where they're at. And then you become the guide. Or if you're in our group coaching, we drill this all the time. You're the one that is presenting where they're at and where they want to be. You're just that little guide, the one that takes them over the river through whatever process you're providing, that service that you're providing. But knowing the problem you solve, like we help people end procrastination. We help them accept themselves. We help them grow their business, put in tools and strategies to move them forward. But what we present is we help you increase your income in record time. We're not talking about the hows, we're talking about the problem. We understand your problem. We want to help you get through your problem. We want you to get to the other side of the river where you are generating and creating the life and business that you love. So that's our forward message. And that's the problem that you solve. Any marketing, anything that you're doing is going to start with the problem you solve, because people only buy when you're solving a problem for them. So make your list of 20 things, circle the top 2, and drive that home in all your marketing, your messaging, and talking to people wherever you are.
Let's give Christine McGinley a round of applause. She works with Dr. Terry Wager. They own Generator Coaching. And it is amazing to finally have more female coaches in the company and the program. It has been for the longest time. We've have I'd say somewhere between 40 to 50% of our community is women, and yet the women are like, well, I don't know if I want to be a coach. I don't know if I want to do it. Christine put her hand up. She said, I'm in. I'm going to help. I'm going to give back. I've added a bunch of value, but I want to add more. So let's give her one more round of applause. To our women, the coaches in the program, thank you so much. For our volunteers, thank you so much. Who else? Well, why not put Mitch right after a clap for the women? We'll go for the scaredy cat. Mitch Jaworski.
Nothing but love for all the ladies, crushing it. So since I've never quoted a hip hop song ever before in my coaching,
every time, every word that comes out of Mitch's mouth is a hip hop song.
As the legend Biggie Smalls once said, "More money, more problems." But people take that in the wrong frame. It's more money because you're solving more problems. So the more problems you're solving, the more money you're making. So I live by more money, more problems, but not in that same light I think everyone else is thinking of it. And, that's why we love real estate, right? lot of us in here are real estate investors. What are you doing with real estate? I put it in chat earlier. I say it all the time in my coaching sessions. We make money in real estate solving problems. And it's true. Whether it's taking a dilapidated house and making it livable and now providing housing for someone that becomes our tenants, right? Whether it's getting a distressed seller out of a situation, you know, for wholesalers, it's like win-win, just solve their problem. I got a property at a discount. I can make some money. Now I provide an investor with a property that they can turn into a rental, which therefore gives someone a place to live. And full circle, beautiful thing. Wins, wins, and wins all the way around. So I think that's beautiful. And what's also crazy is how sometimes the universe just brings you problems to solve, whether you want to or think you should, or whether the voice in your head agrees. And I say that because I'm reading this right now, The Surrender Experiment that Mike Shine suggested to me. And the book really is about his story, about how he just surrendered to what the universe wanted him to serve. And it's ironic I'm reading that book right now because clearly the universe wants me to do more coaching and apparently coach crypto, even though I'm trying to focus more on doing more investing in real estate and cryptocurrency. So I'm in my personal surrender experiment right now. And if you haven't read that book, it's quite interesting. It goes pretty deep into all the meditation. And he was a hippie growing up in the 70s. And he's like a hectomillionaire or whatever that word is now. So definitely an interesting read. I suggest checking it out. But yeah, more money, more problems, and keep an open mind to let the universe bring you those problems that need to be solved.
Let's give Mitch a round of applause for being open to surrendering, to just allowing us to bring him more money. We want him to teach us crypto. We're willing to pay. So it's just, he has to be willing to receive our money. We'll put it that way, Mitch. Let's give Mitch one more round of applause. I love it. I love it. It's what a great community of coaches. What a great community of investors, future millionaires in here. Some of you already are millionaires, and I'm working on getting you to start your own coaching programs. Some of you are on your way to becoming millionaires, but are already coaches. And we appreciate you guys as well for some of the value add, like, Fred and the Make Money Have Fun podcast. He's got the podcast, but he also runs a mastermind and on Tuesday nights. What I like about Fred is has not made the $1 million status, but is very good at helping people move from the job they don't like to the job that they want and switching their form of income, getting that. So there's a transition there. And the class he teaches each Tuesday is worth going to, worth learning about. I don't know if Jason's still on here, but he teaches a great class on branding on Fridays at 11. You brand, you can get that on Meetup. I'll be adding these ancillary coaches, these people who are adding value in their special niches, their marks, what they do to the website over time. It's a promise that I made to them. Dr. Terry Wager is hopefully going to be taking them under his wings so he can make them millionaires in the coaching arena. I'd like to see anybody who's interested in being a coach, talk to Dr. Terry Wager and Doug McGurk and see if you can get some of what they've done to become successful coaches. I do believe that you can become a millionaire in this arena. I do believe that you can become very successful as a coach. I see the ability to make a lot of money teaching people, adding value, but you've got to have your other money handled first. I don't think it's a great move to just switch into coaching if you don't like your job. Hands to the camera if you understand that. It's an ancillary income. It's an additional source of income. It's something you could make money doing. If you're going to learn how to do it, Dr. Terry Wager, I've watched him make $40,000, $50,000 months consistently. And it's just impressive to watch. And then to hear all the referrals, all the references from people. Hence the camera, you've been coached by Dr. Terry Wager. And satisfied, yes. Increasing your income, yeah. So it works. And if you've received value from any one of the other coaches, hands to the camera if you've received value from all of our coaches. Yes. Let's give the coaches a round of applause. Thank you so much. I know personally I have learned from, I told you earlier, I learned from each and every one of them continuously. Dorina. I always remember Dorina now.
Well, I'll go short. I think when you ask this question about when we get in business, what do we really think when we get into business? What did we want when we got into our business? And you also mentioned find that ideal client first, and then identified what problem they have. And for me, it was actually easy, and I hope that can relate to many others, that I am my own ideal client. Like the problem that I had when I got into the business, that is the problem that my ideal client is having right now. So I have to go back, identify how I felt that moment a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, either more real estate or how to get rich, how to get more time, how to quit the job that I no longer was feeling good about, and get to that emotional feeling and then relate on that to my ideal client, because I am my own product. So that was my biggest takeaway. Like if you are looking to, okay, what is my ideal client, do they want, like, okay, why do you do what you do? You might have had your problem solved for yourself. That's why you started the business. That's why you found solution at epiphany bridge, and you just know exactly how to help others.
I like it. I like it. She's so valuable. So valuable. If you ever wonder why I locked that one down. Thank you, Dorina. Surround yourself with amazing people. Surround yourself with amazing people. You have the choice. You can change who you are. You can change who you're around. If you're not happy with the people you're around, change who you are. It starts with you. As within, so without. You will attract people who are just like you. And if you want to attract the best people, just be a better person. Like one of my mentors, he says all the time, it's like the secret to success, just be a decent human being. And what he means is treat everybody with the utmost respect. Always look to serve, always look to add value. For him, that's common sense. And that's why he's like, just be a decent human being. But like his level of decent human being is so much higher than the average person. His standard of a relationship is so high. So when he says be a decent human being, he's saying respect other people on a level that you want to be respected. Provide value to other people on a level you wish they were providing value to you. And if you can do that, if you can be that kind of person, you will surround yourself with the most amazing people. You'll surround yourself with an army of people who want to see you successful, who want to help you get to the next level, because they know that by hanging out with you, they're getting themselves to the next level. Hands to can if you feel that in this community, that is the truth. Absolutely. And I do want to talk a little bit about the Make Money Have Fun mastermind that I am a part of. And I do get paid a commission for bringing members into it. So the Make Money Have Fun mastermind, I will not only sell it at a discount, it's worth $5,000, but if you want to get it and go in while I'm in it, it's $2,500. But if you buy it with the mentorship, which is an extra $1,200, I'll take $200 off if you buy them all at the same time. So it's $3,500 to get into the Make Money Have Fun mastermind, which is it 6 months or a year, Fred? 6 months, which is longer than the mentorship. And then it leads into the ability to do the thing that you love. And it also adds value by making sure that you hang out with us a little bit longer weekly. We want to make sure that we're getting that weekly touch. It's very important that Fred and Terry connect at some point this week. In fact, I'd like to get on a call with all three of us and make sure that we can work this into what we're doing here. The big reason being, I want to make sure all my coaches are getting paid and everybody is playing well with each other. In fact, I'd like to get all the coaches on that call with Fred, because I want to make sure Fred knows to sell all of you ladies and gentlemen. I want him to know what your products are. I want Terry to run it, because Terry runs all of the coaching for us. Hands to care if you know, I trust people better, smarter, harder working than I am. Do things that I feel are complex, but they think are easy. Terry and Christine really think coaching is an easy process. Like they think it's simple. They think this business is easy. Doug thinks stage speaking is easy. And so I'm like, okay, if you think you can teach people and it's easy for you, then do that, because I want everybody in this community to learn how to speak from stage. I want everybody in this community to learn how to communicate their message to more people. The reason you don't have the money you want is because you're not talking to enough people. They don't know you, so they can't flow you. Next week, wealth principle number 7. Wealth principle number 7 is who has my money? Who has your money? We talked about it today. You got to solve a problem. Well, there's no point in solving problems for people who don't have the money. Does that make sense? So before we solve problems, we identify who has money, what problems do they have that we can solve. And if we can solve them, we get their money. Hands to the camera if you agree. Hands to the camera if you commit to being somebody who solves problems. Yes, yes. Hands to the camera if you commit to next week being here and learning who has your money, how to identify who has your money. Excellent. Let's give yourselves a round of applause. I appreciate each and every one of you. When I started, I was broke. I was in the seats with you. I was learning. I was terrified. I was scared. I didn't know that I could become a millionaire. In fact, I was hoping I could just make enough to get by and pay some of the stinking bills. And I was able to retire by 30. I was financially free by 30. I was a millionaire by 32. I was a multimillionaire by 34. I just turned 35, and I will be a pentamillionaire likely by the end of this year or within the next 12 months. I do this because I want to make sure that you understand that it's possible. I keep growing because I don't believe in teaching something I'm not doing. And so I have to keep growing. I have to keep going. I do it because it's easy. The principles do change. What I do changes, but the principles remain the same. The 52 weeks every year is what I apply. I teach it so I can learn it better. Who's heard that you learn as you teach? If you want to really master something, you have to teach it. And so I teach the 52 wealth principles so that I can apply them better in my own life, so I can build my businesses better, more ethically, more powerfully, more impactfully. When I started, I was willing to do whatever it took. It took me 5 years to become financially free, but I was willing to put in 7 years. I was willing to put in 10 years. I was willing to put in 15 years because I didn't care anymore. I was sick and tired of being broke, sick and tired of not being able to do what a man's supposed to do, sick and tired of not being able to provide for my family, not having options, not having freedom. I put my feet in the ground. I drew the line and I said, no more. I will produce wealth. I will become a millionaire. I will do whatever it takes. I started by buying one house after another. Each year I kept buying houses. Then I bought 3 houses. Then I bought 6 houses. Then I got all the way up to 42 units. I sold them all the way down to 12. And I got back up to 68. So I've done it before. I know what I'm doing. Hands to the camera if you know you can do it too. Excellent. Excellent. Cheers to your success. When you have a choice, always work with the best.
Always work with the best.
Work with the best.
Love you guys.
The best.
Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to help move, we are moving at 4:00. If you're in Fall River, seriously, I got this desk that is heavy and I need somebody's help. So
Hey, Walter,
thank you.
Just wait for me there. I'll be there.
Thanks, Terry. I'll be waiting outside.
We start walking down.
Me too.
You need
I'll
to
meet
Thank you
you
for
there,
the
too.
address. I appreciate you.